it is the next day. We are back on this Toyota Corolla. We got the approval from the customer to fix this vehicle. I ordered a brand new fuel pump assembly. I got it this morning from our local parts store. Here is our fuel pump assembly. I will show you the part number in a minute. So now let's get to the back seat so we can get this fuel pump assembly replaced. After we replace the pump, this engine is gonna start. So let's do that. So I'm gonna disconnect the electrical connector first. Just like that. We're gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna clean this off. We're gonna disconnect the fuel line that comes out of the pump. So let's wipe this down before we remove it. Now we're gonna disconnect this little clip over here first. We have to be careful because this little plastic clip breaks really easily. Okay, so I got this little plastic clip, I hope you can see it, that holds the fuel pump output line on the fuel pump. So this tube over here, we got it disconnected. I apologize for the glare. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Now we're gonna disconnect this line here. Okay. So we got both lines disconnected. So now I'm gonna undo this big ring for the fuel pump. So we're gonna use this tool to undo this ring over here. Okay. And then we're gonna use our extension and ratchet to undo the fuel pump retaining ring. Now, I did read some of the comments that you guys have left this morning. Man, this thing is, wow. Did it move or did I break it? What the freak? Man. Don't tell me that this thing is going to be a nightmare to remove. What the frick? Okay, I hate these things because sometimes they break. So we have to be careful. Interesting. We have to be careful not to break this ring. I'm gonna go grab some WD-40 so I can spray some WD-40 around this ring. I don't want to break this ring. So I'm gonna go grab some WD-40. I'll be right back. All right guys, I got some WD-40. I'm gonna spray some penetrating fluid around this ring. I don't know if this is gonna help, but it's better than nothing. So now we're gonna use this tool. I'm gonna use a different tool to undo this fuel pump ring. Hopefully this one is gonna work fine. Wow, this thing is very tight. It's very tight on. What the frick is this? Wow. I haven't seen a fuel pump ring being very tight like this. What? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. The way this thing is tight, it's unbelievable. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. How tight is this thing? Wow, this is unbelievable. This thing doesn't want to come out. This thing is really tight on. I'm gonna tap it a little bit. We're gonna use this rubber mallet. And tap this a little bit. Hopefully it's gonna move. I haven't seen a fuel pump locking ring being this tight. This is crazy. Wow. Huh. This is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Wow. Wow. What the heck? This is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, I'm gonna have to find a different tool to remove this fuel pump. I'm gonna call my local parts store to see if I can find a different tool for this. I think there is another tool they make that has 3 paws that goes on this locking ring. This is unbelievable. This pump hasn't been removed. Yeah, so let me figure out the tool situation. I'll find a different tool so we can undo this, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. I got a different fuel pump removal tool, so we're gonna try this tool to see if it's going to work. I mean, if this fuel pump ring doesn't come out, we might have to destroy it and replace it with another one. This is ridiculous. So we're gonna use this tool. I hope this tool works. So hopefully this one will do. I haven't seen a fuel pump ring being so tight like this. This is unbelievable. Okay. So this is gonna go right over here. So I really hope this works, because this was supposed to be a very quick job, but it's starting to turn into a difficult one. All right, so I'm gonna get my breaker bar here. Here we are. Okay. Wow. Wow, this is crazy, guys. This is so tight. Wow, unbelievable. Woo! Dang, I just broke the tabs on the ring. What the frick? I don't know. This is crazy. Very crazy. Oh. So we got it, I guess. We got it. It's loose. Man, this is unbelievable. I haven't seen a fuel pump ring being this tight. Right there. What in the heck? This is crazy. Unbelievable. All right. So we got this lock ring undone. So I'm gonna loosen it completely. Wow, so here it is. This is crazy. This lock ring was really tight on. Now the good thing is it's not severely damaged. Just this tab over here broke, this one broke, and then this tab over here broke. So about 4 tabs broke, so we can reuse it. It's still good. I'm not gonna replace it, okay? So now we're gonna remove this fuel pump that was difficult to come out. Now, I know some of you were wondering if the issue was a defective fuel pump filter, a clogged fuel pump filter or a fuel pump regulator. When I diagnose these issues and when I fix low fuel pressure issues, I do not replace just the regulator or the filter. I always replace the fuel pump assembly, okay? So this is how I like to do it because I don't want a comeback. I don't want having customers coming back to the shop because maybe the regulator didn't fix the issue or the filter or the pump. So this is how I like to do it. I always like to replace the fuel pump assembly. So this assembly over here comes with the pump, the filter is inside, it comes with the filter, and if this has a regulator, which I don't see a regulator here, maybe the regulator is in this unit. If the regulator is inside, when you replace the entire unit, the pump is going to come with it, okay? Now, I know you can remove this and just replace the pump or the filter. Again, I don't like to do that. I don't like comebacks. These units are usually installed together. The pump is installed with all these components. So if the pump fails, or the regulator or the filter, if the filter is clogged, the pump will most likely go with it, okay? So I don't like taking chances. I know you can save a few bucks just by either replacing the pump or the filter and going back and forth and seeing if it was just a clogged fuel filter. But once again, I'm not going to take the chance. I'm going to replace the entire unit. So we're going to get rid of this. This is the old pump. I'm going to get it out of the way. The defective pump is removed. Now I'm going to remove the O-ring for the pump. We're going to remove this O-ring. We're going to replace it. I'm going to look inside the tank The inside of the tank looks clean. I don't see any dirt or debris in the tank. We have enough fuel in the tank, so that's good. Now I'm gonna wipe down the fuel pump seal seat because we're gonna install a new fuel pump O-ring over here. Now we're gonna bring our new fuel pump assembly. So here is the new fuel pump assembly. That's the part number. I showed it to you earlier, so I want to show it to you again in case you were wondering. So here comes our brand new fuel pump assembly. Oh, this thing is nice. Okay. So we're gonna get our pump out of the bag. I like how they have put bigger fuel lines over here on this new pump. This new pump looks more robust. This one looks more robust than the old one. So this pump over it, so here's the float. So we're gonna get the float out of the bag. So at this point, everything I'm gonna do is gonna be the reverse process of the removal process. So I have my old pump over here. So this is gonna go. I'm installing the float on the new pump. This will indicate the fuel level on the dash. All right. So just like that, we're good to go. Now the sun is out. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry for the glare. So now we're gonna install our brand new fuel pump seal. This seal is gonna go around here. We have to make sure that the seal doesn't move. Now the new pump also came in with a new clip. This is the clip for the fuel supply line. Now we are ready to install our brand new fuel pump. Okay, so the fuel pump has a little notch over here. I hope you can see this. There's a notch over here that goes into this little notch over there. Okay, so there's a spot where this notch goes onto. Okay, so now let's install our new fuel pump. Just like that. We're gonna lower our pump. And we also have to make sure that our fuel pump O-ring didn't move. So I'm gonna make sure the O-ring just moved. Let me push this line out of the way. Let me push these lines out of the way. Our O-ring moved, so I'm gonna have to reinstall this back in place. What the heck? This O-ring is moving. I don't want you to move, buddy. Stay right there in place. Right there. All right, we got our fuel pump assembly installed. So now we're gonna install our O-ring. Let me figure out the best way to do this. All right, so we got our O-ring installed. So I am gonna screw the O-ring as I'm pressing down on the fuel pump. Of course, this line is being caught up on the ring. What the freak, man? So now we're gonna tighten the ring. We're gonna tighten it all the way, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna use my tool to tighten this ring. Now when I tighten it, I'm not gonna get it too tight. I'm just gonna get it snug, because we don't want to tighten it like the way it was. Okay, I'm just gonna get it snug. So that's good enough. Okay, the O-ring is there. The O-ring is going to seal the pump to the fuel tank. I'm gonna wipe down the gas that leaked out up here. All right, so that's good. We have replaced our fuel pump. So now I'm gonna reconnect our fuel line. This thing is sitting up. Let's see. I don't even know if this thing is gonna go in. Yeah, it did. All right, so that's good. The way I saw how this tube is sitting up, I thought it was gonna have issues connecting to this line, but we got it. So now we're gonna connect this line over here. We're gonna install our new clip, and then we're gonna start the engine, and then it's gonna be the moment of the truth. Did we make the right call or not? So we will find out just in a little bit. All right, so we got our clip installed, so we're good. Now we're gonna install the electrical connector. We're gonna reconnect the electrical connector of the pump. just like that. All right, we are good to go. Before I put this cover back on, I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the key a couple times, and then we're gonna start the engine. So let's go cycle the key a little bit, and then we're gonna start the engine. I'm sure this engine is gonna start now. So now let's do that. Before I start the engine, I'm gonna have you look at the fuel pressure gauge under the hood as I'm cycling the key. Remember yesterday when we were doing our testing, the fuel pressure gauge only went up to 30 psi. And then when we cranked the engine for the second time, the fuel pressure gauge only went up to 20 psi. So now with the new pump installed, let's crank the engine and see what our pressure is gonna be. So I'm gonna take you under the hood. Our fuel pressure gauge is still connected to the fuel system. I'm gonna go in the vehicle and cycle the key. So I want you guys to look at this gauge and see what pressure we're gonna have now. So I'm gonna cycle the key. First time, second time. So right there, as you can hear, the engine started, the engine is running. So right now our fuel pressure is 50 psi. So right there, we have 50 psi on the gauge, and the engine is running. I hope you can see the gauge right there. We have 50 psi on the gauge, the engine is running. I'm gonna turn off the engine. I'm gonna start the engine again. The battery is dead. Is my jump box not working? So right now we are holding fuel pressure with the engine off at 40 psi. Okay? So let's start the engine again. Let's see if it's gonna start. The battery is dead. We might have to check the charging system and make sure that the charging system is working. So right there, it starts. It's fixed, guys. I'm gonna rev up the engine. All right, we're good to go. This is fixed. Are you guys convinced? So the fuel pressure spec while the engine is running is about 49 psi right now. Okay? This is fixed. We have 50 psi at the gauge. The engine runs good, so we're good to go. This is fixed. The issue on this vehicle was a defective fuel pump. I'm gonna turn off the engine. So, no lights on the dash. I'm gonna turn the engine off. So let's start the engine one more time before we wrap up this video. So check this out. So right there, it runs. So this vehicle has 124,000 miles, 664. As you can see, we don't have any lights on the dash. We might have to drive it to see. if there's any other problems. We fixed it, okay? The vehicle came here on the tow truck. It wasn't running, now it runs. So our diagnosis was right. So we're good. This is fixed. Okay, so everything is reconnected. We're good to go. I'm gonna reinstall the cover that goes over here. Okay, this cover is just glued on, so that's good. Okay, so now we're gonna install our back seat. I didn't forget anything here. So here comes our back seat. Alright guys, that's it. I'm gonna leave this right over here. We did the diagnosis yesterday and our diagnosis was right. We replaced the fuel pump on this vehicle. Now the vehicle is running. Now, I did read the comments from you guys yesterday. Some of you suggested that I would check for spark. Some of you said maybe your spark was weak. I don't think spark was weak. I mean, we have the results now, the engine runs, so this is fixed, okay? So it wasn't spark, you know, it wasn't compression, it was definitely fuel delivery. So we made the right call, the vehicle is fixed, we're gonna have another happy customer. So thank you very much for watching, thank you for your comments. I made the first part with Matt. Matt is not here with me today. I'm filming by myself, but hopefully the next one we're gonna make, Matt will be here with us. He had something to do today. So we are going to wrap this up. Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your comments, your criticism, everything you say in the comments. You know, it doesn't really get to me for the most part. I mean, unless you're just being a hater, but if you're leaving constructive criticism, I welcome those and I read them and I try to make better videos every day. Although sometimes things don't always go the way I want, but I want to be able to create good content that I can watch myself, okay? So thank you very much. Thank you for your feedback. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you like the video, share it with some of your friends and people you know. So I hope you like it. Subscribe. See you in the next one.